wanasema oh,
Hi everyone. Can anyone hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
And that's also a form of my healing. I hate when other people who have not been through the trauma you have been through, any of us, because we've all gone through traumas, they want to tell you when to stop hurting. And that's not anybody's place to tell you when to stop hurting. It's that everybody has a different lifespan of pain. What might be traumatizing to me might be nothing to you.
So we'll give a few minutes for people to join. We can get our sublime text ready. Can someone volunteer to share their index page? I see Mariam says is requesting. Anyone who can volunteer? So today's session will be our last session for this year. So let's see how much we'll be able to cover for today. So how many have done CSS? I believe everyone has done up to CSS. So I'll share my Sublime text. It may not be up to date as most of you have. Mariam, you're able to see? So I hope you've all had a good week, and I think we'll start now. Now, today we are going to look at a number of items. There's a very famous HTML tag known as div. We're also going to look at classes and IDs. Has anyone heard of any of this? Maybe tell us a little what you think these are. So, okay, I'll proceed since none is willing to say. So, we normally have a number of ways we can display content on a web page, and there are two different kinds of displays. We have the block display or block level elements, and we also have the inline elements. Now, when we talk of block level elements, these are elements that always start, mostly you'll notice that they start in a new line. For instance, if you define a paragraph, the paragraph will definitely start in a new line. If you, let's say, kindly mute your mic, Mercy. Okay, so we have such elements like paragraph, the header elements, that is H1 to H6. We also have the list elements. Whenever you define them, no matter where you put them, the content will always start in a new line, and it will cover the entire page. And the inline elements, these are like the bold or break. They don't bold. Another example is the anchor tag. All these normally start. They're usually in the same line where you define them. So we're going to look at the difference between these two. So with that, we now have the div element. We also have another element called span. So I'll show you how we can use this. So let's just start a new file or a new page in our very big websites. Just a second. So you can start a new file and we save it. For mine, I can call it home.html. You can give it any name. Probably you already have home.html or something. So as usual, we need to have our skeleton of our HTML file. Okay, so define our title. So you can link your CSS files if you have. Can someone remind us how to link our CSS files? Have we all done CSS? Okay, so you can see yes. So just link your CSS file. I don't have a CSS file on my end, but you use the link tag relation. This is a style sheet. The type is a text and CSS text, that is. href, you define where the CSS file is located. So if it's in a folder named CSS and the file itself may be called style.css, you can do that. So it will link your CSS to the page. Okay. So in the meantime, as you catch up, are we all together? I'll also create my CSS file and then it will be empty. So I'll just create my CSS file also. Okay. So under CSS, as you can see, I have my style.css. All right, so inside the body, we can have the navigation. If you all remember, we used to have the navigation. So for instance, here, as you can see that these anchor tags. Let me just copy those here. So as I had told you, we have the element or the known as div. So div, we use div to separate different sections, or to organize our website or our web page into a number of blocks. Okay, so div is an element. The div element is a block level element where it always starts in a new line, as we had said, and it takes the full width that is available. And the div element is basically is used as a container for other HTML elements. As you can see here, we've put the anchor tag. They are both inside the div. And then mostly it doesn't have attributes. It doesn't have any required attributes, but the most common attributes that you can have are style. Style is for CSS, right? I hope. So the style element is used to add CSS to a specific HTML element. But then since we already have our CSS file, we do not need to use style. We do not use style within the div at this point, because we already have our styling file where we can always do our CSS on that file. So the most common attributes being used are style, class, and ID. Okay, style, class, and ID. So style is not necessary for our case, but you can always use class. Now, yes, there is class and ID. Okay. Now I want to tell you the difference between class and ID. So classes are used to define or to so just as we are here, this is a class and we have different students. We also have trainers within this class. So a class, the attribute can be used to specify a class for a HTML element or multiple HTML elements. So you can also have multiple elements sharing the same class. As you can see here, we've used class and a div. We can also, let's say, nav, okay? So the class nav, we can also use it inside, let's say we have a paragraph here, some random text, okay? So we can also give this paragraph the same class. That's what I mean by a class can be used by multiple HTML elements, all right? So for our case, nav means navigation, okay? Navigation, but for simplicity, we can just call it nav. So this classes are used to, as I've said, they're used to is used to point to a class name in a style sheet, and it can also be used with other things, let's say in JavaScript, and we can use that to manipulate the specific area of the web page, okay? Then for ID is normally used to point to a specific HTML element, and it cannot be used in multiple elements. Okay, so the ID attribute is used to specify a unique ID for that HTML element, and you cannot have it in more than one element. So when you use ID, that will be specific to that one item. So for instance, if you use the ID, let's say Navi or nav home, okay? So nav home is an ID used here, and you cannot use it anywhere else. Let's say under the anchor tag, you can't use the same ID here, all right? You'll have to use different IDs. So you may have multiple paragraphs, and maybe you want one paragraph to be like highlighted or to be, yeah, to be highlighted, then you'll definitely use a specific ID. So let me show you. So for instance, when you look at this website, we can say that here under this section where you have nursery, junior, and senior, this can be different. You'll probably have div school. The div maybe the class will be school. Then you can have separate IDs, maybe nursery school, junior school, and senior school. Then for the junior ID, you can have it having a different kind of background too, so that it can be differentiated, or maybe you want to highlight it or to make it look different with the other ones. So you can use it to manipulate specific HTML elements. So here, so in building a website, you can have different, you can put your website into different sections. So today we'll look at, we'll build a website that is like inside a one page, and you can even navigate to different sections of the website. So here, maybe this section will be, we can give it a class. Let's look at the IDs first. Okay. This is okay. Introduction. Okay. Okay, so in here you can maybe have a heading, H1, maybe introduction, okay, and a paragraph. I'll copy some random text from somewhere so that we have something. Okay, so probably that's our introduction part. And maybe we also do another div. Okay. So here we'll have H1, let's say about, okay. This is a bit longer, okay. Have it that way. Okay, So it won't be that boring. You'll use other HTML elements. Let's say an image. You can have a video in there somewhere. Okay, you can even pick a video from the other pages. We import that somewhere here. That to make it a bit interesting. Just some random content. Okay, so okay. So probably this is a website with the let me show you how it looks. Okay, so when you open it on the browser, it will look something like this. Okay, so you can do your CSS later on. Now, I think you've seen one-page websites before, and maybe we want such that our menu up here will be moving us down to a specific topic within the same page. So with that, we can use the IDs. So okay, so for our div, so this is an entire block that will talk about the intro, so we can call it like that. Here we can have another class, maybe about. Okay, this one will be class history. Okay. Now, the class names are usually case sensitive. So if you use a capital letter, later on when you go to your CSS, make sure you use the same capital letter. Now, we said IDs are used for specific HTML elements. So for instance, in this heading, the introduction, we can call this, we can give this an ID of intro. Intro or introduction, okay. Same for this one. Can call this about us. And for this one, can give it an ID of our history, like that, okay? So now, for our navigation, we can have all that here. Intro, about us. I hope we are all together. If I'm too fast or you are kind of a bit lost, let me know. Or just send a message on the chat. My colleagues can also assist. So now we want such that for our navigation, When someone clicks on intro, they be taken to this section, or the website scrolls down to the introduction part and the about us and so on respectively. Okay, so for our href, we are going to write the ID of where we want Yes, is someone talking or something? Okay, so what you'll do here, we want it to be taking us to the introduction part. So the href, to refer, in order for you to refer to a specific ID, what you'll do, you'll use the hash. You'll use the hash introduction. So hash the name of the ID. So for about, it will be hash about us, and here it will be hash our history. Okay. So when you test this in your browser, you should be able to see how it works. So someone to confirm that they're sorry. Whoever is joining with TECNO WX3, kindly mute your mic if it's not a question you have. Kindly mute your mic so that we do not distract others. So I hope you all have this capability. Like when you click on the menu, it drops you down to the like about, it takes you to about and so on. Are we all together up to that point? So we need to add some styling to our website. We need to add some styling to our website. So Okay, so are you seeing my browser or my Sublime text? So let's say you within your about text, you have some text that you'd like to highlight or to edit differently, or you want it to be seen. Outstanding laboratories in senior school, junior school are guaranteed hands-on experience in science. So let's say we want to have this, since this is a school and hands-on experience in sciences is a very important thing, maybe you want it to have some kind of different styling that will make it pop. So we can enclose it within a span, tag. So you can add a span. So this is the text that we want to appear within, or we want to make it different, or okay. So again, span, just like a div, you can have style, the attribute style, or class or ID. So let's say class, we give it a class, let's say note. We want people to notice it, or to make it pop. So let's call it pop. So in our CSS, we'll do something to style that will make this part of the text to pop. So under CSS now, we want to make use of classes and IDs. So in CSS, for you to refer to a class, you use dot something something, okay? So let's say we have the class, we have nav, we have class intro, we have class about, and so on, okay? So we can do, we can have our, we can start with the pop, class pop, okay? Start with dot pop. So that's how you refer to the class. Then in here, we can specify how we want our class to appear. We can maybe give it a specific font size. We can give it a color, let's say color. I can do color, red, let's say. Font, what do we do? Font size, okay. You can say 16, or rather 14 pixels, okay. So when we save all this, so just give it any kind of styling that you like to. Then we can also work on the introduction of the about us, okay. Sorry, the class is about, okay. So dot about, we can give it some styling, let's say background, blue or cyan. Cyan is a color, right? How does this one look? Okay, so just give all those some styling, add some styling, let's say color. Now color is normally the color of the font, right? So here we can use maybe some random background, okay? And the color we can say maybe white. I'm not sure how that will look. All right, so let me show you how bad my website is now. Okay, so as I give this one a green, huh? Some green color so that, okay. So as you can see, you can manipulate different sections of the website differently by giving them different kinds of classes and IDs. So for a class, you need to know that a class is applied to a block of or multiple elements. But for IDs, you only specify to a specific IDs go to a specific HTML element. And let's say, and you can't reuse it. Once you give it to one element, you can't reuse it to another element. So IDs only apply to a single element, like the way we've configured our navigation, okay? So this one does not pop as much as we had expected it to pop. So can do some more styling. Since we want that section to pop, can give it another background color, maybe background color and maybe black. And then we do, sorry, you can't see my sublime text. Okay, so font weight. So when we save our work, okay, this is not very good choice of colors, but take your time as you practice this. Just come up with nice colors to mix to your website. You can even have a photo as a background to a certain section of your website. If I can find an example somewhere.
Kelvin.
Yes.
I have a question.
Yes.
In my div for class, it's not. It's only styling the background of the title, the title's background. It's not taking up the whole div.
Which
for the about us. It's only, I've added a background color, but it's only taking up the for the title alone.
Or because about us is an ID to the title. It's not the div class, at least according to my code.
No.
So as I was saying, so like you can see this website at this section, the background is an image, and the other parts are different. Maybe like here, this is a color background. This is just white background. So you can use that. It's the same scenario. So you make it look beautiful. Not like mine here is just picking up colors. So as you can see here, the div, the class is about us, is about for the div. The ID is just, ID is used under H1 for my code. Maybe yours is a little bit different, but about us is used under the ID. So even the how do we use history? Now, if you want to style the different headings differently so that they look different, because since we've put some color behind, maybe the about session looks okay for now. Maybe we want to style the heading under history, maybe to make it look kind of historical. So you will, for IDs, you specify them using the hash. Okay. So you'll have it that way. You can specify its color. So again, there's so many style elements. As you can see, whenever you start typing, you can see all transparent. You say B, there's those not there. So color, let's say blue. So all these are CSS elements. So there are so many that you can use. You can say align, animate, grid, break after, background. If you type letter B, there's background size, border collapse. There are so many stylings that you can use to make your website look good. So that takes time and practice. So make sure you keep practicing. Make sure you learn more CSS elements. And as you are told by Mr. Brighton, I think there is the website W3 Schools. It's a good resource for learning HTML, CSS, and even JavaScript. So okay, so is there any question on that? So for the span pop, so as we said, classes can be used by multiple elements. So the pop, we've used it here, we've used it here. So anywhere we want some text to pop, we just use the class pop around it. And the span, so the span tag is used to modify a section of it. Okay, so when you look at the website, you'll find that we have that pop-in text here. We also have it under the history. Okay. And also down here. So as you've seen, we've managed to manipulate different sections of the same web page. So Liz is asking how you can link a map of a specific place. So let me find a specific location. So let's say you share. So to answer Liz's question, I need to share my browser. So for instance, you're on Google Maps, you have all those locations. Let's say we want to share, let's say Swahili Pot. We have Swahili Pot here. So on there you can, when you have the place selected, you just click on share. Then you have embed a map. So here you can change how it looks. You can change the size from small. You can have medium, large, or a custom size that you want to select. Okay. So on the medium, then you copy HTML. Then you paste this to your web page. Okay. So maybe you have another div here. Okay, so you can have it there. You put the div, maybe you give it a class location, probably if you'd like to do some editing to it, iframe, as in, now this is the code we copied from the share button on the map, okay? Yeah. Now to set a background image, so under our about, maybe we want to put an image as the background. As you can see, we have the background image property. Then we specify the location of the image, okay? So so AMG, I think this is supposed to be in quotes. AMG coders. I have an image called coders. The JPEG. Okay. So here you're supposed to specify okay. So Margaret, have you been able to add the image? So you say background image, then URL, you specify where the image is located. Now, as you can see, we are using relative, we said it's called relative link. So the two dots means, as you can all see, our style.css is inside the, okay, I can't zoom into this location. I hope you can see here. So under website, we have two folders, CSS and IMG. Now, our style.css is inside the CSS folder. Now, for you to get to the image, which is in image folder, you need to go back. The two dots means go back one folder, as in go outside the current folder, okay? So we've gone outside the CSS folder. Now we are in the website folder. Now, when you're in the website folder, how do you find the coders images? You go to the image folder, which is the next step. Then you find the photo itself. So that's why you have the two dots here. How to link website to MySQL database. Okay, that's some advanced, that will be advanced once we go on to back-end programming. We'll probably do that next year once we start learning Python and other frameworks. You can use PHP to connect to your database. Okay. So we also have website builders. There are some softwares that you can use to build a website, because in order to save time on building websites, you can easily use these tools to quickly come up with your website, make it look good. Let me find one. So there are sites like WordPress. WordPress is a content management system. We'll look at this later on. So now I'll just show you like an introduction to it. So when you go to WordPress.com, it will present you with the WordPress with the website builder, where you can quickly create a website. So there's the start your website button within there. However, it needs you to create an account. I think I already have an account. Let me see. Okay. So here it needs you to create an account. If you already have a Google account, you can just click on continue with Google. Then it will, you can select your Google account to sign you in. Okay. That's the quickest way to create an account. It will need you to type a domain that you want. So you know what? So the domain is like, let's say, website name, like websitename.com. That's the domain we are talking about. Okay. So now, as you can see here, you can easily start your own website for free using wordpress.com. So you just select a domain name. Now, if you get a domain name that is the name of your website .wordpress.com, then it is free. If you want it to be, let's say Liz wants to create her own website, maybe she wants it to be liz.com or liz.co.ke or liz.shopping. Probably it's a shopping website she's creating. Those are being charged. So if you call it let's say Liz Shopping, then .wordpress.com, then that will be free. Okay, as you can see here. So I'll call mine website lesson, right? So if I pick website lesson, this one comes with so many numbers, 57. Website lesson 09. Okay, so website lesson 09.wordpress.com. So you select your domain. You can pay if you want an e-commerce, business, premium, personal website. You can always pay if you have the capability to. However, you can still start a free one. Start with a free site. Okay. So it will set up your site. Are we together up to that point? Okay. So once you have it like that, here you are able to set up your website. There are so many things you can do to your website. As you can see, the site has been created. This is the setup process. Okay, you need to confirm your email, so you can go through it step by step. Give your site a name, create the site menu, update your homepage, launch your site. Okay, so you can use this button to visit your site. So open that in a new tab. So already we have not done anything, and this is how our website looks like. Okay, and this is how our website looks like. As you can see, there is the title, there is the menu, we have our welcome banner, a little introduction. We have this has random text which you will replace with your own text. So these are blogs. Basically, these are recent posts. That's why they appear here. So the recent posts will appear this section and so on. Okay, someone can go to the blog page where they'll see all the posts. Okay, the about page, which will have basically about yourself. So you'll introduce yourself, write things about yourself, replace the image with your image. So within very few minutes, you'll have come up with a good website. As you can see, there is the form here. Remember when we were creating forms? So you won't have to start typing everything. The form is already there. Maybe if you want to change the field label to something else, maybe name, you want it to read full name so that people enter their full names, you can do so. Of course, this is about your contact info, so you replace it with what yours is. So if you sit down very serious, in one day you have a proper website. So how do we customize all this? As you can see down here, there is customize, there is edit, statistics. So you can quickly go to edit this current page. Okay, and click on edit. So you'll always have these tooltips. You can just go through them so that they assist you with learning what you can do around, how you can move around, edit your homepage, add the pages you need, and change your site looks and feel, add or edit your content, hidden until ready, preview your site as you go. Okay, there are all those things you can do. So preview, you can always preview as you edit. You can launch. Okay. Don't hesitate to reach it. So let's say your address is not that, so you can easily change. Let's say 67668 Basa, you know, let's say Nkrumah Road. Okay, the city is Mombasa, that is. The state, let's say coast, right? Red. You can link address to map, you can change your email, user at example.com. Okay, maybe that's your real number and so on. So as you can see, we've already updated our contact page. Then these are links to your social media. You can always edit these. You can add more to it, you know, add a blog. So all you do is just click on update for it to be saved. You can see it's saving and it's done. You can see here, and you can click on view page. So now we are back to viewing the page and all our updates have taken effect. Okay. So as you can see here, you always have that warning. Your site hasn't been launched yet. So anyone else will not be able to view this site up until you launch it. So you can first edit it, make sure you have everything customized before you launch it. So as you can go through the site steps, you give your site a name. So maybe the title, what title do you give it? Coders site, okay. site tagline. You can say powering through code. Okay, through code. Right, and as you notice, since it's your first time to do this, it always gives you tips. Almost done. Every time you make a change, it needs to be saved. Let's save your changes and then see what's next on the list. So always save. Okay, as you can see, it reminded us to always save. The site address is there, language, time zone. You can launch your site once you're done. Okay, and return to your home. So name your site has been ticked. And next is create site menu. We can add a menu and it will open the customizer. Okay, so as you can see, it is very friendly. It gives you all the information on what you can do. Okay, all the design of the site, change your site title, update colors, fonts, and even add a header image, explore widgets to find new features, content to add to your site. Okay, this is where you do all that. So for the menu, there's the primary menu, which you can customize from here or even from here. There's the many ways of customizing this. So
Toka
the
ufungue
home,
mlango. Nisema mtu asije tena hapo mwatilia mbu. Toka ufunge mlango.
okay, so you can the menu can be edited here. There's home, blog, about, contact. Let's say we don't need blog. You can just do this and remove it. Or you can add more items. Let's say blog, you want to add it back. Okay. You can organize, let's say home, about, contact. We want contact to be the last item on the menu. You just click and drag it. And you can see it has taken effect. And always remember, save your changes. Okay. Okay. So there's a lot of flexibility here, and it's quick to customize your site. You remember when we named our site Coder's site? So it is up here, and our empowering through code. See, when we go to about, the site name is everywhere. It has been updated. It is in all the pages, right? So that is found under site identity. If you have a logo, you can always upload the logo. Okay. So you can drag and drop the logo, an image, I mean. So I've uploaded that image. Just click select. So here you do cropping. You can crop image. And boom, we have our logo. Okay, that was too big. The image was too big. Find a smaller image. Or we can just crop the same image to have it, to make it way smaller. So let's say that's the logo of our website. Okay, so it will appear in that location. Of course, logos come in smaller sizes, so it will fit perfectly or better than that. As you can see here, they also advise you on the size of the image you're uploading. Site icon is the one that appears at the top. As you can see here, there is the W thing, and also on my other tabs that are open, like the Instagram logo appears up there. That is the site icon. So when you set it there, that's where it will appear. Okay, as they're saying here, you see in browser tabs. Okay, so you save the changes every time. You just save changes. So the menu, we looked at the menu, and we have widgets. So these are things you can explore. Let's say you want to add your Twitter stream or something like that. A calendar, you'd like to add a calendar to your page. Okay, you can always do that. As you can see, it has been added here. So widgets are just extra items that you can add to your website. And as you can see, it is very easy to edit. Okay, homepage settings. So homepage, the one that you want to be your homepage, you can select any page to be your homepage. So you can choose what's displayed on the homepage of your site. It can be posts in reverse chronological order or fixed static page. Okay, so when you say static page, that is this is our homepage, all right? This is our homepage. Or if you want posts to be your homepage, you can see it changes immediately. So the latest post will be your homepage. Anyone visit, if you are making a blog website, of course you'll probably want your latest blog post to be your homepage. Then you can also have additional CSS. However, that is in the premium plan. Okay, but normally if you've paid for the premium plan, you have your site specific website, then you can add some additional CSS whereby you want to do some editing on the styling and you're not able to do it through the normal editor, then you probably need to use the additional CSS. But we'll look at that when we look at the other version of WordPress. So that's on customizing. Always remember to save your changes. Okay. So back here, we've created our site menu. Launch your site is another item you can do. So I want you to do this for your own. Make some edits. You can add more posts, write a blog post. If someone comments on your blog post, maybe you have to allow it. So you can go to manage comments. You can add new pages. For this one, we have home, blog, about, contacts. You can add a new page, maybe history, to talk about the history of your organization. Let's say this is a website for your organization or your company. Okay. So all that editing can be done here. And there are also so many things you can do. So there is the themes, here. So you can choose from different themes. You're not only restricted to the one we've been seeing there. So like this one, let's say this, if you want your website to look something like this, then you can use this theme. Okay. You can view its live demo before you activate it for your site. So when you choose a theme, it changes how your site looks, and then you'll be able to customize the content. Of course, if you had already customized the content will still be there, just the styling will change. So you just go through the page. They have instructions on how to use the theme. And as you can see, the page itself, they've already implemented responsiveness, as in it will be able to be viewed on any size of a device. Okay, let's just go through the live demo and see how it looks. So this is how it will look if we choose to go with this theme. And as you can see up here, try and customize or activate. When you click on activate, it will be activated for your site. And then that's how your site will look. I think if we do this practical. So use Brompton without changing my homepage content. Okay. So activate. So it has been activated. Then we go to customizing the site. Even when you go back to the previous tab which we had, this is our website. So if you refresh this, your website has changed, but we still have our content. The site name was Coder's Site, Empowering Through Code. We still have our same menu and everything. We had selected the latest post as our homepage. Okay, so this is home. As you can see, the colors have changed. Okay, the content still remains the same as we had decided to maintain. So between now and January, as you enjoy your holidays, just go through your site, come up with something really nice. I think when we resume, we will communicate the dates to all of you when we'll resume our classes. And at that time, I would like at least more than half of us to present what we have. That would be nice to see the progress you have done. You can customize colors as you want. You can customize the menus, widgets, additional CSS. Okay. So that's if you're writing a new blog, you can always create a new blog. So yeah, so under the site, you can create new pages, posts, you can add media, upload photos and so on, so that you use them within your pages. You can choose under design, there is customized, there is themes, you can choose any theme. You can install plugins. Now these are used for more advanced items. As you had asked before, someone asked about connecting to your database. Now this has connected to a database somewhere at the back. So anything you post, you add is saved within a database. But we'll see all that when we look at WordPress. So I think we should end there. I don't know if anyone has a question. Anyway, for any questions, if you can communicate through the groups. I can see we've run out of time. So yeah, look at this, learn more. If you're stuck, you can ask in the groups and we'll be able to assist you on how we can to make you learn more. Okay. Ruth, would you like to say anything? The other, Aisha, Brighton, Ruth. Okay, I think since they have nothing to add for today, we'll end the session there. So you have a lovely holiday. Enjoy yourselves, but don't enjoy too much that you don't learn new stuff. Okay. So when we resume, we'll like to see your websites, how far you have created or reached. Okay. Bye bye, everyone.
Goodbye.